Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel, your front row ticket to every electrifying twist in the saga of the British royal family. If you live for raw, behind-the-scenes glimpses into palace life, stirring moments of resilience, and the occasional eyebrow-raising drama, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we turn our attention to a scene that unfolded under the gilded arches of Windsor Castle, a moment that had royal watchers gasping, keyboards clattering, and palace aides rushing to issue an unprecedented health bulletin. Yes, we're talking about King Charles III's startling bloodshot eye during the state welcome for French President Emmanuel Macron, a tiny crimson flash that threatened to eclipse the pomp and pageantry of one of this year's most important diplomatic visits. But before we dive into every riveting detail of the red eye incident, its medical explanation, its timing amid Charles's ongoing cancer battle, and the palace's swift, modern spin on damage control, do us a favor. Give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our insider scoops. Your engagement helps us keep peeling back the walls of Buckingham and Windsor, revealing the stories you won't find anywhere else. A royal welcome interrupted by a crimson glint. Picture the scene. Windsor Castle's acres of manicured lawns, the towering walls that have witnessed 7 centuries of monarchy, and the immense pride of the moment as King Charles, clad in a tailored morning coat and top hat, steps forward to greet President Macron. The French tricolour snaps in the breeze beside the Union Jack, symbols of two great nations renewing ties, sharing laughter, toasts, and the mutual respect forged through centuries of alliance and then in a heartbeat. All eyes fixated on the king's right eye, glowing bright red like a dash of dramatic lipstick on a pale visage. For anyone unfamiliar with the drama quotient of the royal beat, let us assure you, a monarch's health is the most sensitive of subjects. We're talking about the living symbol of national unity, the personification of centuries of tradition, and here was Charles, leading the welcome ceremony as though nothing were amiss, yet with that unmistakable crimson bloom tethered to his gaze. Cameras flashed, smartphones recorded, and within minutes, social media was ablaze. Is the king okay? Cancer complications. What's happening at Windsor? In the years since Charles's cancer diagnosis was made public, every cough, every hesitation, every tincture of fatigue is dissected by commentators, insiders, and armchair pundits alike. No wonder that a burst blood vessel, a subconjunctival hemorrhage, medical experts would later clarify, felt like the opening salvo in a fresh round of royal health speculation. The palace's unprecedented real-time health update. In a break from centuries of silence, and no comment reticence, Buckingham Palace sprang into action. A spokesperson confirmed within hours that the king's red eye was caused by a minor burst blood vessel, nothing more than a harmless leak beneath the conjunctiva, akin to a sudden twig snap in an otherwise serene forest. They were at pains to stress, this event was entirely unrelated to his ongoing cancer treatment, and posed no threat to his vision or stamina. Why was this statement so remarkable? Because royals do not typically grant real-time health updates. In the past, the palace would release a terse bulletin days later, if at all, often leaving the press to fill gaps with rampant speculation. Yet here, aides recognized the fraught context, a monarch battling cancer, the public on edge for every sign of weakness, and the global spotlight shining on a high-stakes summit with France. They opted for proactive transparency, nipping rumors in the bud, and demonstrating a modern approach to crisis management. What is a subconjunctival hemorrhage, and why it matters? For those who saw the king's eye and gasped, here's what you need to know about a subconjunctival hemorrhage. What happens? A tiny blood vessel under the clear surface of the eye breaks, causing blood to pool between the conjunctiva and the white of the eye. What it looks like? A bright red patch on the sclera, the white part, which can appear alarming, especially in a public figure. What causes it? Simple things, sneezing, coughing, rubbing your eye, or even pressure changes. In some cases, high blood pressure or certain medications can contribute, but often no clear trigger is found. How it heals. Generally, it resolves on its own within 1 to 2 weeks, with no lasting damage or vision issues. Eye drops can soothe any mild irritation, but no medical intervention is usually required. In everyday life, such an event might barely raise an eyebrow, until you add the mantle of crowdsourced concern that comes with being a 76-year-old monarch undergoing cancer therapy. The delicate balance of public sympathy and privacy. Let's not forget that when King Charles announced his diagnosis, he did so with remarkable openness, sharing details of his treatment plan, expressing gratitude for support, and setting a tone of honesty. This transparency won him praise across party lines and patriotism triangles. Yet it also set a new standard. Every health hiccup, no matter how minor, now risks fueling headlines that stray from the monarchy's desired narrative. By issuing an immediate explanation for the red eye, Buckingham Palace demonstrated an acute awareness of this balancing act. They showed that they understand modern media dynamics. A moment of silence would have been interpreted as concealment, sparking conspiracy theories about cancer progression or complications. Instead, they provided a clear, concise statement that allowed the focus to shift back to the ceremonial significance of Macron's visit, a testament to the evolving PR acumen within royal communications. Remembering Charles's path to the throne and his ongoing challenges. Charles III's journey has been anything but smooth. He waited decades in the shadow of an enduring sovereign before ascending the throne in September 2022. His early reign has been defined by a push for modernization tempered by respect for tradition. He has championed environmental causes for decades, supported youth development programs, and advocated for mental health awareness. And now, in his mid-70s, he confronts cancer with the same fortitude he has shown in every royal role. This backdrop makes every public appearance a study in stamina and symbolism. When Charles, bloodshot iron ore, led the French president up the gravel pathways of Windsor, he was broadcasting more than diplomatic goodwill. He was conveying resilience, duty, and unwavering commitment to the crown. He stood shoulder to shoulder with Macron, underscoring the enduring Franco-British alliance, even as his own body reminded the world of life's fragility. The diplomatic stakes of Macron's state visit. Why was this visit so important? France and the UK have shared a complex, intertwined history, from Entente cordial to wartime alliances to post-Brexit negotiations. Macron's 3-day state visit to Windsor and London was designed to cement economic partnerships, bolster security cooperation, and celebrate shared cultural ties. Key moments included a ceremonial welcome at Windsor. The King and Queen led full honors, guard of honor, mounted pipers, and wreath-laying beneath the Round Tower. Bilateral talks in the state apartments. Discussions ranged from climate change initiatives to digital trade agreements, building on mutual goals ahead of upcoming European summits. A state banquet in Westminster Hall. Lavish courses, heartfelt toasts, and musical performances showcased Britain's heritage and hospitality. In all these moments, the King's visible red eye could have served as an unwelcome distraction, had it not been for the palace's rapid response. Historical echoes of royal health scares. This isn't the first time a monarch's health has taken center stage. Queen Victoria's failing eyesight in her later years stirred public anxiety about Britain's future. George VI's debilitating stammer and wartime health concerns were woven into Winston Churchill's war briefs, raising questions of national leadership under duress. In each era, the royal family grappled with the tension between discretion and public reassurance. Today, under King Charles, that tension persists, yet the tools have changed. Real-time social media analysis, 24-hour news cycles, and an increasingly impatient public demand instant clarity. By acknowledging the subconjunctival hemorrhage within hours of the sighting, the palace signaled that the monarchy can adapt to our age of relentless scrutiny. What this means for the future of royal communications. Could we see more of these on-the-spot health bulletins? It's possible. The palace's handling of Charles's diagnosis, his treatment updates, and now the red eye incident suggests a shift toward proactive transparency. In a world where trust in institutions hinges on openness, the monarchy may be charting a new course, one that embraces candid communication without sacrificing royal dignity. Yet this approach carries risks. Overexposure could erode mystique, and every minor ailment might be elevated into headline fodder. The palace must walk a fine line, provide enough information to reassure, but not so much that the public feels entitled to a play-by-play of the king's medical chart. The king's stoic dedication, bloodshot eye and all. Despite the eye scare, Charles carried on. He shared a warm embrace with President Macron, engaged in spirited conversation about reforestation projects, and hosted a late-evening state banquet glittering with dignitaries and crowned heads. He toasted to the health of our two nations, his voice steady, his gaze, red spot notwithstanding, fixed on the future. That steadfast performance reminded everyone why he was chosen to succeed, a monarch who, when faced with adversity, meets it head-on, with honor and grace. Your thoughts on the royal red eye saga? So, what do you make of this bloodshot eye incident? Do you applaud Buckingham Palace's swift transparency, or fear it opens the door to over-scrutiny? Does King Charles's resilience in the face of health challenges inspire you, or leave you anxious for the monarchy's future? Cast your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one, and your opinions help shape our next deep dive into the mysterious, magnetic world of royal life. If you found this report illuminating, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and click that bell so you never miss our insider coverage. Share this video with fellow royal enthusiasts who live for every pulse-raising moment behind the palace walls. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep your curiosity aflame and your fascination with royal intrigue burning bright. We'll see you again soon for another exclusive peek behind Britain's most storied curtains.